You're still searching for that breakthrough that always feels just out of reach. What is your true life path, and how do you finally find it? Welcome to Say It Anyway, the podcast where we help you unlock the breakthrough you've been waiting for so your true life path can finally come to life. Each week, we share powerful practical tools you can use right now to start transforming your life. You'll hear raw, honest conversations with people from all walks of life, people who found their way forward and are here to share mindsets, strategies, and wisdom that help them get there. I'm James Ferrigno. I've helped people reconnect with their power for years. I'll guide you beyond surface level solutions into a deeper way of seeing the world, one rooted in connection, courage, and open-hearted dedication. This is your space to think differently, live boldly, and finally do the thing you were meant to do. Let's get started. Hello, I'm James Ferrigno, and this is Say It Anyway, and our guest today is Amanda Mehalick. And Amanda is an intuitive healer, a channel, a spiritual growth curator. She holds certifications in clairvoyant intuitive healing, multidimensional healing, vocal channeling, and has completed practitioner training in tantric studies, somatic movement therapy, and shamanistic studies. Amanda also holds a Master's of Intuitive Medicine and is currently deepening her work through Thomas Hubble's collective trauma healing training. With over 15 years of experience as a professional intuitive, conscious business coach, and published metaphysical author, Amanda brings grounded wisdom and multidimensional insight to everything she touches. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you, James. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah, so we met at the Academy of Intuitive Medicine, right?
We did. Yeah. Went through quite the journey together.
Yeah. It's been a while. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. So we'll dive into it. Just to start out here. So what led you to become a clairvoyant intuitive healer? Was there a particular moment or something awoken you that you decided, oh, this is my path?
No. That's the fun. Yeah, it was something that happened so organically, and I was so not aware of what was happening. I had been going into a metaphysical store. My mom had been bringing me into this store since I was young, maybe since I was 8 years old. And as I got older, it was a place that, yeah, it just drew me. I would go in there and look at astrology books, talk to the owner of the store, play with crystals, and I would also get psychic readings. Um, and one day, the owner of the store told me that he thought there was something there that I was looking for, but I hadn't found it yet. And so he connected me to a wonderful healer, and she and I worked together a bit. She really freaked me out. She scared me. I was petrified of her. She said things that were way too real. But I couldn't get her out of my head. And she, maybe a year later, offered what I thought was like a 6-week meditation course.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, so I thought, okay, I'm signing up for something, 6 weeks, no big deal. But it ended up being a 3-year deep dive into your healing, connecting with your higher self, multidimensional healing. And in that, I had clients that I would practice doing readings on, feeling things for them, etc. And those pretend clients became real clients. And so I thought, okay, I'll just do this while I'm in college, and then until I figure out what I really want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of years into doing that, my dad was like, you need to pay taxes. This is a job. So that's how it happened. But yeah, I was not aware of any of what was going on. So, which makes it much, I think it allowed me to really fall into the path more elegantly.
So when did you first realize you had intuitive abilities?
I think when I went through the program, so I was 19 when I started the program. And that's when I realized that what I thought was normal, I thought everyone just knew and could feel what was going on with everyone. Everyone just knew yeah, someone's stress points or what someone needed, or and everyone can see or feel like what someone could work with to help themselves feel better. Yeah, it was when I was in the program that I realized that's not the same thing for everyone. People don't all feel that, and that's when I realized, okay, this is a sort of clairsentience. So then, yeah, I did some work to refine that, and then it opened up a lot of other clairs for me, like clairaudience and clairvoyance.
Okay.
Mm.
I like that.
Thanks.
So, can you describe a typical session with you?
Yeah. So the first session with me is it's kind of like I like to take an energetic blueprint of whom I'm working with. So typically someone comes to me either because they've been referred to me, or they're curious about something in their life. And that can range. Sometimes people come with problems or they just want a general, like, you know, tell me what's going on. So the first session, I lead people through a visualization and a grounding meditation. I'll have them say their first and last name a few times, and then I'll just use their name as the touch point for me to sense their energy. And I like to just do a kind of read on someone to tell them what I feel through their name. Typically, what comes up is related to who that person is, like maybe on a core level, who they know themselves to be. And what other things come up have to do with like themes around their life currently. So maybe where their blockages are, where their stress points are, or where they're really excelling. So I like to just feel the person without having any information. And then
Mm,
once we start the dialogue, then it's kind of like therapy in some ways. Therapy with a side of I might have them do some energy work or a visualization, or bring in their inner child, or could manifest into some type of movement. And this is as the sessions go on, as we build rapport. I kind of get an intuitive blueprint of what would support that person most in feeling more connected to themselves and more connected to their path and their purpose.
so, first, it's about connecting with the person and maybe just holding space and kind of
Yeah,
being there with them.
exactly. It's like, this. I mean, everyone has energy that they're carrying with them. And for me, sometimes if we're saying a lot, if there's a lot of talking going on, it can distract me from being able to truly sense what's there. So having that space of where it's just silent and I just get to feel,
Mm,
um, it's like giving name to what I'm sensing in the energy field. And most often that tends to resonate with what someone else is already feeling, what they're sensing. And I think there's a piece of that builds trust in who I am and what I'm doing. It's like if I can feel them without them saying anything, then there's a natural kind of openness that starts to occur.
yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Hmm.
that happens with me as well, or a similar thing that I've noticed that what you said about the language
Hmm.
kind of being a different track from the
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
And I felt that myself, and that sometimes the language can pull me out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even, I mean, I love words and I love
Mm,
talking. But yeah, it's even my own words, my own language, my own kind of assessment can can deflect or can dilute,
mm,
just having that, like, going really slow and just feeling what's there. So yeah, and there are other times that I think the language is really important. Like sometimes it's like you get someone talking, and then we're able to move through something comes
mhm.
up and it gets vocalized. But
Yeah.
yeah, the quiet space is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So, did your healing journey or personal journey affect, like, how did that influence your
Hmm.
direction?
Hmm. Well, I think when I went through this program when I was 19, like I became, I would say, like borderline addicted, but in a positive sense in some ways.
Yeah.
Actually, in complete, not just some ways, complete
Yeah.
always. I became addicted to to discovering myself.
Mm.
Going into meditation, I would just do a lot of self-guided meditations, just asking and feeling and sensing what was going on inside of me, that would eventually transfer into more of a visual journey. Um, and so that process felt very anchoring. It like helped me get to know myself and feel myself more. And and again, that opened up this path of self-healing and self-discovery. And so I feel like it's now just who I am. Like I I love learning about me. I love being shown things that I don't know. I love going
Mhm.
into to different containers and seeing what comes up. And so naturally, as I do that, my capacity to hold myself changes, and then my capacity to hold other people changes. So I just feel like they go hand in hand at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there wasn't like a particular crisis that occurred in my life that all of the sudden I was like, okay, now I have these gifts, or all of a sudden I need to get
Mm.
support, and all these things opened up. There have definitely been plenty of crises that have occurred in my life, and they all have translated into me knowing myself more. But but yeah, again, it's just that's kind of the path of evolution in some ways too. I feel like
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. It's a process. Yeah.
it's a total process.
Yeah.
Uh, with your spiritual journey, like, was there something that kind of imploded and then that woke you up, or
Mhm.
was it more organic, kind of like what I was sharing about mine?
I think in my journey, I just went through a series of
Mhm.
um, kind of deeply painful events that then resulted in more awareness of
Mhm.
self
Mhm.
generally, and then learning of tools and
Mhm.
things after the awareness kind of came first.
Yeah.
I think that's the first step. So,
Mhm.
but it would be crisis collapse, learn, crisis collapse, learn.
Yeah.
And I even started going to workshops for that, consciously being aware of that pattern.
Huh.
And I would go to these, intense weekend workshops and knowing that I'm probably going to have this intense collapse thing that I'm going to hate. And
Mm.
then I'm going to come out of it. And so I went through that process
Yeah.
a few dozen times. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, but I figure I'll get through it quicker this way, just making sure that it happens rather than just waiting for it to drop on me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you know what your Enneagram drive is?
It's been a long time. When I
Okay.
started with Enneagram, it was many years ago.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 25. At that time, I think your number can change.
Yeah, I
So
can
I'm
see
not
that.
sure. Mine was a 6 at the time.
Okay. Yeah. That is kind of the process of the six, what you were describing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Lots of stress and anxiety around and going through that kind of ride.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Lots of
mhm.
fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm,
Didn't miss out on the intense stuff.
mm.
So uh, maybe you can give us some insight or talk about letting go. It's a big thing, right? Learning to let go. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, well, I'm like, my thoughts are to grip as tightly as you can until you're no, yeah, I mean, letting go, what do we say? I think it depends for everyone. I mean, letting go, what are you letting go of?
Yeah.
I just feel like, life is this, yeah, like this growth process, this evolution,
Hmm.
this continuous finding a new truth and then shaping your world around that.
Hmm.
I think if you're living life like that, that you have to have some sense or some I mean, you're gonna confront letting go at some point. And
Hmm.
there are certain things, I mean, in my life, there are certain things that it's pretty easy. I mean, right now I live this life where um I travel a lot because after I moved to Europe, that's just been a huge part of it's like what Europe does to you in some ways. You're in motion.
Yeah.
And there's a beauty of that where I've been able to develop a lot of community in different places. But I feel like I'm constantly confronting this kind of sense of letting go because I'm not somewhere permanently. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's still, there's such a tenderness, but I feel that, at least in my experience, this whole thing around being able to recognize that the moment's going to end can, in a way, make it more precious.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I try not to think about all of the letting go pieces and just live,
Yeah.
honor what's coming up
Mm-hmm.
in the moment. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Cancer sun sign, so like clutching onto things and being very sensitive when I have to say goodbye. I feel like those are just parts of my nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way that is letting go,
Yeah. Um,
just
I think
allowing whatever's happening.
exactly. Yeah. Like knowing that the moment is going to close at some point, and okay, and
Mm-hmm.
taking a breath and then going on to the next. And yeah, I think there's just something very poetic and beautiful about seeing life as that. It, for me, makes me want to be more present.
Yeah.
At a time, it made me maybe want to be less present or less open, or yeah, because you want to protect yourself and not get attached to things. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, there's poetry in the letting go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. I like that.
Thanks.
So, are there any practices or do you have any recommended things for people, maybe people who are just starting or people who get stuck or a little bit lost on their path, aren't really sure what to do next?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
thoughts?
Yeah. Well, my thought with it is, the more that we can be curious around our lives and what's happening, the less I think we'll be stuck. Because stuck
Hmm.
is, it's like stagnation. It means uh, there's no, there's no movement at all. But if we can find the capacity to be curious, like what is happening in my life? What is this about? What does this mean to me? What do I feel with this? Then we naturally start to create movement.
Mm,
Um, and therefore becoming unstuck. So that's one thing that I think is great to do. Another thing is I'm a fan of like letting everything be kind of a meditation in some sense. And a meditation meaning this concentrated time and space where we can become more aware. So a conversation with a friend can be a form of meditation. It's like this can be very cathartic, very healing, very confirming. This can show me new parts of myself. A walk, in the park can do that.
mm,
A moment of dancing can be a moving meditation. So seeing life as again a place that we have access. We have these points of access, and meditation doesn't have to just look like closing your eyes and being in quiet space. It can look a lot of different ways. I think
mm,
again in those frameworks, in those spaces, that's where more insight and guidance can come. And again, kind of getting us out of the stuck place. So yeah, or like physical movement in general. Anytime I feel stuck, I'm like, okay, I probably need to go for a walk right now. And 9 times out of 10, I just feel so much better when I'm back. Yeah, that's a huge part of my world right now.
yeah, I love that. So, being sometimes, I know we can get out of our bodies, maybe not
For
be
sure.
completely embodied.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found that can really bring me back
Hmm.
to uh, to ground to do physical exercise.
Absolutely. So right now I'm in Marin. I'm in the Bay for the summer, and like it is just so nice to have so much access to nature because I feel like the beautiful redwoods, all of these luscious hikes, they
Mm,
add different component. That really feels like I'm like, oh my God, I don't even need to move. I can just be in nature. It takes away so many things. But even in Paris, where I'm based most of the time,
mm,
just going for a walk, even around tons of people, again, it's like it just has a way, as you said, of bringing us back into the body.
mm-hmm.
And it's really easy for me to like get in my thoughts in my head. I'm like, in a room working, talking to people, etc. But yeah, it's funny how that can make you feel a little bit out of sorts without even realizing it.
Yeah, yeah. think the computers, technology, the things we do.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, how do you help people move through emotional blocks or trauma, if indeed you do?
I like to think I do. I hope I do. I hope I
Let us
do.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks different depending on who that person is and what they need, but I'm happy to give you some examples.
Mm.
So I'm definitely a believer that connection can be something that heals trauma. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
if I have a regulated nervous system and you come to me and you are dysregulated, I can hold you, and you can go through, I mean, that could be talking, doing whatever, sharing, feeling everything that's coming up until there's a regulation that occurs. Because naturally, if I'm holding that space, you will eventually find your way into it, and something in,
Mm-hmm.
or whomever is with me will kind of regulate. So that's one, one way.
Good.
Um, And then when there's maybe more space, when someone is maybe a tiny bit more regulated and they have more of a capacity to look at something, to look at a blockage or to engage their trauma, a lot of times that can look like it can look like working with our multidimensionality, meaning there could be something that happened in your childhood. So then we're going to bring in your inner child. In therapy, they call it a retrieval, and in shamanism, they call it a type of soul retrieval. So I like that it's the same language, but yeah, some type of retrieval by working with an inner child, an adolescent, maybe a future part of you. Um, so meditation is one form, conscious conversation, and then movement is another thing that I like to bring in a lot. If there's something that is maybe stuck in someone's body or they're feeling a lot of tightness in an area, then I will actually stand up with that person and start to move with them because there's something about doing it together that tends to open up more space and create more of a welcoming environment. So that's
Mm.
another thing. And then, I'm the queen of like giving people integration exercises because I'm
Oh yeah.
and yeah, oh my gosh, I love creating little things for people.
Mm.
Depending on, because some people are going to respond better to journaling. Some people are going to respond better to having like a ritual to work with their anger. Other people are going to, feel it's going to be vulnerable and provoking for them to ask questions to other people about themselves to help move through things. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'm a fan of here's what's happening in the space, but also I think that's just nature of like the importance of holding someone when they leave kind of a healing container so that they can continue that process on their own. Yeah,
Yeah.
so these are my favorite ways. I mean, I also channel a multidimensional being called Lester.
Mm.
And I feel like Lester, I mean, they have their own unique process to working with things that we would call trauma or blockages.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes their resonance, I feel like, is so high that it's just being in the space with them. Like all of a sudden someone leaves and they're like, something has changed. I don't know. And then it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the magic of their work that I don't completely understand, but I've witnessed it enough times that yeah, that it feels really special.
Mm. So it's
Mm.
just different kind of energy level happening that kind of
Yeah.
creates a shift.
Yeah, exactly. I would say Luster. I feel like I'm pretty giving, and generous and loving, but Luster has like 10 times the capacity of what I do.
Yeah.
And so there just is something about being in that love space and there's unseen work that's happening in someone's energy field when they're dialoguing with Lester. Um, and so I often have the idea of I'm like, oh, I think this is what happened during the session. Because I'm there, I'm just not super conscious of what the conversation is, but maybe I'm feeling the energy. I'll
Yeah.
go trance and then someone will be like, oh no, this is what we did and blah 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 blah. But it's like it kind of puts you in this yeah, this more elevated conscious space. And
Mm.
yeah, it's really beautiful to witness and it's really beautiful to facilitate.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you have some awareness of your surroundings and what's going on, but
Yeah, I
you're
mean, like, I'm
not
not
really.
fire in the room or something. I'll be aware of
Yeah,
it. I'm not someone who's unconscious when they're channeling.
yeah.
But I like to describe it like I'm in a fishbowl,
Hmm.
and I'm the fish, Lester is the water, and whomever they're working with is like someone, yeah, a person looking at the fishbowl. And
Hmm.
so that fish can be right in front of you, or that fish can be kind of floating around somewhere else. And the best work
Ah,
when I'm floating around somewhere else and just letting Lester do their thing.
I like that. That's a good analogy. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I really like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I understand it now.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
how do you distinguish between intuitive insight and your own personal biases? And
It's a great question. It's a really good question. It's a felt sensation, and that's the best way I can put it. It's I feel the difference. And again, that's kind of that to me the importance of having that quiet moment in the beginning of sessions where I just get to feel
mm,
before there's conversation coming in and it's starting to my head's going this way and thinking about, oh, this process would go well with this person, etc. Um, I, I just try to really feel it. Where is this coming from? And what does this feel like in my body? So it's not necessarily linked to, okay, if it's coming from my heart, then I know it's intuition, but it's like that there's a texture to it that feels grounded. It feels light, but it also feels like there's a fluidness to it. And oftentimes I'll tap into the intuitive knowing well before my mind's been able to think something. It's just
hmm.
there is no there is no cognitive thought. It's just really a flow that starts happening.
Hmm.
Not not always is it like that, but that's how I pay attention to it. When I first started doing this work, I would take a long time. Like I would go very slow during sessions. People would ask me something and I would really take a moment to like feel
Hmm.
to make sure that it wasn't coming from, it wasn't just me responding right off the bat.
Yeah.
But that's shifted, now that I've been doing this work for as many years as I have, there's something that happens at a quicker pace, but it's still before there's any kind of thought that comes through. So I know it can be a little bit, how do I say, it's intangible. It really is, and that can be hard to connect to. Just it's a felt sensation, and that's how I know.
Hmm.
I'm so curious though, like what would you say for you? How do you know the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really interested in how people answer this question as well.
Mhm.
For me, it's intuitive knowing almost always. So
Yeah,
it's just, which it's hard to describe. It's just, I know.
exactly.
And I'm
Yeah.
certain, and I know the difference between that and everything else,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
only because I do. And
Only
so there's no other way really to describe it, I don't think. Maybe
Mhm.
that it's a type of certainty, you can just kind of, it's like seeing the path ahead, it's
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, what comes up when you're talking is it also feels like too, it's like the space that you're in too, the space that you've set up or the space that you hold yourself in.
Hmm.
Um, I think that is such a strong contributor of how you can just get into that space of like, I just know. Because it's like there's
Yeah.
a particular resonance or energy that you've already been holding yourself in.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that yeah. Yeah, that can make it a lot easier to
Mhm.
be relaxed and grounded and
For sure. Yeah.
quiet mind.
All those pesos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nice. Does somatic awareness or body work play a role in your healing process?
My personal healing or my healing
Uh,
people?
let's say you're either really.
Yeah. Well, definitely in both.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my personal process, I am a deep lover of movement, of dance. Um, I have done something called S Factor for many years, which is
Mm.
central movement and pole dancing. Maybe you remember me talking about this during the exam.
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really it's you go through this journey with a tribe of women, and it's about
Mm.
reclaiming your eroticism in a really kind of sacred and very special way.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like every class feels like a healing ritual, but you're learning to
Mm-hmm.
listen to your body and to let your body move how it wants to move. Very similar to ecstatic dance, except ecstatic dance welcomes the male gaze, and this is something that's just for women or women identifying. So
Mm-hmm.
that is like what speaks to my soul the most and has been incredible. It's like the deepest parts of me get to be known through that type of movement. So that in itself is super healing. And then having a relationship with my body, just like somatic presencing, just feeling, the aliveness in my body, the
Mm-hmm.
stagnation, etc. And that is the way I tend to work um, with some movement. Yeah, my S background gives me a lot of different pieces I can pull from in sessions. But just that whole process of just getting someone to connect to their breath and like to literally feel their body, that to me is enough. If someone can get there and can feel connected and dropped in, that's all that needs to happen, basically. So yeah, somatic movement all around, very important to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, being in the body, it's like, yeah, I spent a lot of time before moving to Marin. When I was living in Southern California, I was surrounded by, I mean, everything, all esoteric knowledge, books, crystals, like every new and cool thing to help with meditation. And it was really when I moved to the Bay that I kind of landed in my body more,
Mm.
and recognized how valuable that process is as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm familiar with that. I had the same thing. I lived in Southern California
Oh,
and I grew up there and went to college for many, many years, learned many, many things. And at a certain point, and then I moved up
Mhm.
to San Francisco, and I realized only then did I really realize my whole life was just based on acquiring knowledge, just
Wow.
huge amounts of knowledge. And I went, and I never questioned it until I
Uh,
got here, and I went, wait a second, what
yeah,
is this? What is the use in this? What is this for? Why? Why?
different environment.
So yeah,
In
yeah.
SoCal for sure. Where did you
Mhm.
grow up? I forgot this.
Um, in Orange County,
Yeah,
uh,
me too.
yeah.
Yeah.
The two parts, I went to Cal State Fullerton,
Okay,
so I
yeah.
was up there for a while, but before that, I grew up in Mission Viejo,
Oh, that's
Dana
where
Point.
I grew up in Mission Viejo too.
You did?
Yeah, I went to
Wow.
Capo. Yeah, Capo Valley High School.
Oh, I went to CAFO.
That's so funny. I'm like, what year did I think I graduated in 2005?
Uh, I was
Yeah.
a little earlier.
Okay. Yeah, I went to Capo. I was born in Mission Viejo High School or Mission Viejo Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my parents are still, they live in Tribuco Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
I worked at a store in Laguna Hills. This is where I did all my multidimensional
Mm.
classes. Yeah, believe it or not, really great spiritual community in the middle of this very, homogenous Republican place. So, yeah,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, I remember I used to go to this crystal store that had all the New Age books, and it was in Laguna Niguel somewhere.
Huh.
Um, yeah, yeah. I worked in Laguna Hills at Claim Jumper.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's where. Oh my God, that claim jumper, that's so
That
funny.
big is if it's even there still.
Not there anymore.
No.
So where I worked at a place called Awakenings, and Awakenings
Hmm.
was literally in the parking lot next to Claim Jumper, except Claim Jumper was long gone by the time I started
Oh,
working there.
okay.
But
So
wow,
in there.
Claim Jumper, that was a jam. I think they went out of business. I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, I
But
think they're gone. Yeah, they used to
cool
have.
place when I was in junior high and high school. It's like, you want to go have dinner at Claim Jumper?
Yeah, yeah. It was all cool. Had a cool bar. Yeah,
That's so funny. Yeah,
yeah,
small.
yeah. It
Okay.
really is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Claim Jumper. A long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I think I was Capo's. Was I the first graduating class that went all the way through?
What year did you
Capo,
graduate?
83.
Damn, I wasn't even on this earth yet.
Yeah. Graduate.
Not to age you.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Wow, Capo. Yeah,
Oh,
it's still rocking and rolling over there. I
yeah, that's crazy.
one of They got a pool when I went to school there. That was like a really big deal. We got a pool.
Oh God, when I started there as a freshman, they were telling us that we're building a pool. The pool's
Oh.
coming. It's going to be here by the time you're a junior. It was not there by the time I was
That's
a
so
junior.
funny. Yeah.
I don't know when it got built, but
Yeah, 20 something
uh,
years later.
yeah,
That
it's
is
funny.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
so,
Capo. Hmm.
yeah, that area changes very quickly, so I can't imagine what it's like now.
Definitely. Yeah. It's still like very similar. I mean, lots of shops and like food places. I feel like that's what South County is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I always used to,
Hmm.
yeah, be unhappy with the lack of culture. Let's say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That was, yeah, a huge thing for me when I moved to the Bay. That opened something up, and I can't tell you how satisfied I feel now being in Paris because it is so enlivening to
yeah.
be around so many different types of people, and I feel I actually am like I love myself so much more because I know so much about other countries and what's happening in the world, and like, I have friends from all different places and I get to know about their rituals from these places, what growing up in Lebanon was like, or South Africa or Nigeria or
Mm,
whatever. And it's really satisfies something for me. It's just nice to have access to information like that.
yeah, yeah. Well, Paris is going to be about
Yeah,
the other end of the spectrum. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah, it is very different.
that's amazing.
Mm. Hmm.
So let's see. I like to give people like something that can help them kind of be able to shift. Be able to maybe something from your experience that is the way that you found your path.
Hmm.
And I know that term might not even resonate with everyone, but finding like what it is you should be doing. One way I like to describe it is if your work that you're doing in life, thing you do most of your time, is
Mm.
not giving you energy, if it's taking energy from you,
Hmm.
then that's not the one that's really what you're
Yeah,
supposed to be doing, right?
yeah,
So,
perhaps. Yeah,
perhaps, I mean,
exactly.
in general,
In
yeah,
general, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, curiosity is everything. To get curious about why you're drained or what's not working. But my
Hmm.
favorite things to ask people right now, really, I mean, I think there's just so much about questions. Asking yourself questions, being asked questions. I love being asked questions. It's enlivening for me. But being able to ask someone the question first, it's a playful one, but truly, if you're going to give a TED talk tomorrow, what are you gonna do a TED talk on? Like, what's there?
Hmm.
And it's funny to see across the board how many different responses I get, but that in one way starts to show you at least what you know a lot about. May not be what you're interested in, but it's where there's information. So, what are you going to give a TED talk on? And if you won the lottery tomorrow, but you had to continue working, what is it that you're going to do? And
Hmm.
and this is like it's the fantasy, just getting to have the moment to dream or to imagine. Okay, what could that be? I'm sure most people. Well, who knows? I actually don't know. But if you win the lottery and you don't have to work, are you going to be doing the same thing that you're doing? I know I would still do what I do, but I would do it in a
Hmm.
different way.
Yeah.
I would spice some things up. And so those are the pieces, to ask yourself those questions. Like, what do I feel interested in? If I have a week off of work and I have lots of energy, I'm not just spending that time trying to replenish. What do I want to do? If there's no limits, what do I imagine sounds fun? So just that process of being able to dream and being able to imagine, I think can start to open things up. And then once you have a little bit of information, then there's more like, okay, well, now that I have this, is any of this possible? I want to be a painter. Well, that's so far out there, but maybe you sign up for a painting class or a sculpting class or something just to start to open to something different. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think those are grounded ways to start to move something, start to explore where your passion, your purpose is. If you don't want to ask yourself questions, if you're like, oh, I just don't have the time, uh, then I always recommend people look up their astrology, their human design, their numerology, even the gene keys, because all of these are tools that it's based off of when you were born. So, even if that's not something that resonates with someone, I'm like, just give it a try and see if any of it speaks truth. Does any
Hmm.
of what you read or what you see here sound like you? Because those can also be pathways to helping someone understand, yeah, why they're here, what is available to them to explore, what might come
Hmm.
elegantly to them, etc. It doesn't do the work to get you there, but all of a sudden someone's saying, "Oh, actually, you're really supposed to be a dancer. You would be beautiful in that field," might inspire
Hmm.
to go take a lesson and then really, actualize that gift.
That's good. I like that. And yeah, I guess that's what divination is for, right? Is to
Yeah,
help you kind of see what you weren't seeing.
exactly.
And
Or the beauty of my gosh, just the beauty of other perspectives too.
mm,
This is why I love people, especially like if I'm dropped in and I'm present. I think people can be like an oracle card. I'm sure you've experienced this where it's like I can go in with
mhm.
an intention, there's something on my mind, and I can sit with someone and they don't even have to, it's not like it needs to be a session. It can just be a friend. But if I'm holding this question, sometimes the answers just come through the conversation.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, yeah, they can.
Hmm.
And yeah, I like. There's so many different kinds of divination too. This is making me think, and I know that I've met people who've questioned that. Well, how could astrology be accurate? And it's like, well, all divination is accurate. All of it works. It doesn't really matter. Tea leaves, throwing yarrow sticks. It doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah,
It's just something that has a structure around it to help you be able to see what it is the world reflecting you back at you.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
Um, yeah, we are filled with stories, and
hmm.
things are kind of, as you said, they're like gateways or ways to articulate the story that we didn't even know was there.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So many stories. Like their importance of that, it's easy to underestimate.
Mm,
How much power those have,
definitely.
for good or ill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Mm.
so if you could just offer one message or a practice or anything to the listeners of something to do,
Mm.
something you could encapsulate into a small thing, what would that be?
Hmm. What would that be? Hmm. I think it would come back to some type of self-love exercise,
Mm-hmm.
having having a like a practice around, yeah, naming why you like yourself, why you're happy to be who you are,
Mm-hmm.
trying to focus and find points of joy, seeing what, even if it's a tiny bit, what brings me joy, what do I like both about who I am and about my world, about the world that you're experiencing. I think right now more than ever, we could all benefit from there being maybe a little bit more hope in the world. And I think those things,
Mm-hmm.
feeling the love for oneself, feeling the joy or the inspiration in your life are pathways to hope. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I would offer.
Yeah, I love that. Self love is definitely a place to start. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can, and you talk about that for just a second. Like what is self love to you? Like, what are some of the concrete things that make up self love?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, self-love is definitely all of the things like, positive affirmations and sweet moments of privacy and bubble baths and all that. But what
Hmm.
what true self-love is to me is the feeling of knowing that you can get through things, Like, and you're gonna be there for yourself. You're not going to abandon yourself. And I think we
Mm,
acquire some of that esteem, if you will, that self-esteem that's a part of self-love through living experiences and then reflecting around them and seeing what we've learned. So both, the pieces where we can name, okay, I like this about myself and I see this quality in myself and I appreciate that. So that reflection, that appreciation, but also, yeah, the esteem and the power that we acquire through going through beautiful and challenging situations and coming out the other end, that self-trust that's also part of the self-love
mm,
kind of container. So yeah, self-esteem, self-trust, self-love, those are all in some sense synonymous to me.
mm,
And then the lived acts are the bubble baths and the I'm not going to go out tonight. I want to have
mm,
private time. Those to me are ways that they can be access points, but they're acts of this energy that's residing within this deep, this love, this care. Yeah.
mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I liked when you said something about just really knowing that you'll always be there for yourself.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's good. Being
How good is
dedicated to yourself, right?
Exactly. It's like at the end of the day, I just had a birthday and I spent my actual birthday alone. Um, for this particular reason of like, I could go out with friends, I could go do this or that, but there's something about just enjoying the privacy of being with me, just feeling me and knowing I'm here. Like I'm with myself. No matter what happens in my life, this person is not going anywhere. And so to really have that level of connection and presence, it felt really good. I actually woke up the next day. I'm like, wow, I feel so in love. What is this? I'm like, oh, it's with me. I found
Mm.
this person that I really like, and I really love it. Yeah, we were just like walking around and like resting and not really doing much, but it was really nice. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Really love that. I think that's a good note to end on. So,
Perfect.
yeah. Amanda, thank you so much.
You're welcome, James.
And
This was so fun. Really good to be with
yeah, yeah, it's been great. It's been
you.
really good.
Yay.
Yeah. So, thank you again.
Okay. Al viento. Until next time.
Until next time.